Hey, welcome
to the Buddy System podcast. That's how we're starting. It's me, I'm Chris.
It's me, I'm Matty.
And we got no guest for today. It's,
Just the boys. Just
it's
us
a
fellas.
nice summer episode. We're in our sweats. Everything's good. Hey, I got a question for you, man.
Yeah.
Do you think you could draw the United States from memory just with like a pen and paper by hand?
My impulse is to say yeah for sure, but it would not be good. Like I could start. I feel like confidently I could be like yeah, and I think by the end it would not be great.
What state would you start with?
Probably like Oregon, and then like work down the left side. You know,
Like second from the top.
so I would make Washington. No, Oregon, and then I bring it around and I finish her off like on the. You know what I mean?
Spiral style.
Instead of just finishing straight across the top, then I come all the way back around and go bleep, and then blarp.
Last one is Washington.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just can't forget Washington.
I like it. It's
I've
good
always
style.
said you can't ever forget Washington.
Yeah.
When you're drawing a map.
Yeah.
That's why I keep it last, because I think about it the whole time.
Can't wait to get back to Washington.
Could you do you think how confidently would you draw one?
I don't think it would go very well. I
No.
would start with Colorado, and it would just be like a bunch of squares, and I'd be like, "Oh man,
Nice.
that's probably too many." You know?
You're such a Colorado boy remember like you ever read about the initial like solar system the Earth was the center?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Colorado is the center of the universe, and that is the bottom line.
And you're like in every state's a square.
Yeah, you got man. Texas, that's a big square.
That's crazy. It's a
Over here in
crossy
the
square.
East Coast, it's a bunch of tiny, really confusing.
I couldn't do
squares.
anything. Delaware, I have no idea where that is.
Delaware is on the other side of the peninsula of Maryland, and I just found that out because I went to Delaware for the first time the other day with our friend John.
Oh yeah, how was it?
It was good.
Delaware?
Went over to D.C. and Philadelphia and Atlantic City.
That's where I get confused. Can I say something so stupid?
Sure.
I was in D.C. a few years back. I hadn't been there since I was like, a kid.
Yeah.
And I was there for shows, and I didn't know there was like waterfront there.
D.C.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is.
I like ate on the water. I like
on
because
the
I was by
Potomac,
myself.
on the river.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it is.
Yeah, you're on the river there.
It made me feel so dumb. And then like East Coast almost gets grouped into DC almost gets grouped into the East Coast, but it's not.
It is. Well, it is. It's like the start. I would say it's the start
It's
of
like
the
the
East
South
Coast.
or the East Coast.
Well,
You know what I mean?
it's positioned there because historically that's been a big dividing line, the Mason-Dixon line, and DC is just north of that, I think, right? Or it's on it or something like that. It's where the South gets connected with the North. That was why they put it there.
Gotcha.
Philadelphia was originally supposed to be the capital, but they're
Right.
like, oh, it's going to be like too northern. So we've got to do this planned community that's going to be like
Oh, so the people down there will survive.
south of the Mason-Dixon line. Oh, okay, it's south of it.
Wow.
But so I mean, that's what they consider the South. So I guess it is the South, but I mean, the feel of it is very like New England, Connecticut, like
Yeah.
country club
Actually,
vibes.
I don't know the feel of it. I've only been there just so briefly.
It was fun. The shows were really good. I went and saw a bunch of the national monuments. Saw them painting the pool.
Oh, that's happening. I keep hearing
Yeah.
things they're doing to like redo all these historic monuments, and I'm just like, I can't.
He's draining the pool, which apparently that's the swamp he was talking about the whole time.
So he's draining it to paint it blue.
To paint it blue.
Why? Because it's like more American.
So that it looks cooler because apparently, well, and honestly, it's
Oh, he wants it to look like a chlorine pool in Florida.
Is
that what it is?
It will. It will, yeah. It's going to look like a terrible,
Oh my god.
tacky blue pool. And he doesn't realize that white is the color you want to make it look light blue because it will reflect the color of the sky above it. That's why water is that color.
Yeah. Well,
So, like,
he's not. You know.
By turning it blue, he's going to make the water hotter. It's going to heat the water and it's going to evaporate quicker. And then there's going to be less. They're going to have to fill the water up more.
It's probably got a filtration system already, right?
But yeah, they're going to have to fill it up more because it's going to get hotter because of the dark bottom.
Right.
The dark bottom.
The dark bottom. Dark bottom.
That sounds like
pools you
that
make
could be
the-
that could be like Trump's evil name if we were in a fantasy.
Dark bottom.
President Dark Bottom.
It
did
is
all
dark
the
because it's always
worst.
covered in shit. 'Cause he
Co-
keeps shitting his whole ass.
Yep, shitting his whole ass.
It's so. I mean, I don't know. Too many people are saying that over and over. It's for that to just be. No, leave him on. I
forgot I was wearing them.
I forgot to bring it up because it was such a bit at first, and then I immediately acclimated to them as not a ridiculous thing.
This is me now.
That's me, dude.
I'm glasses guy.
I listen, man. I got family of pig farmers, and I got some ideas about what pronouns people are talking
If
about.
you saw me on the street, would you think I was chill?
No. No. No, I would think, but you are put together enough in a way where I'd be like, is that Morgan Wallen? Because I don't know who that is. You know what I mean? Like you look
He's
like
a well-known racist, though. I'm pretty sure.
Well, look at this is kind of
I do look like I got a certain trailer park vibe to me.
the camo hunting hat. You know that's not there too, right?
You know, when we started this podcast, it was on January 6th, and we did that for a damn race.
I infiltrated it just like the Capitol building.
I went to D.C. and I tried to storm the Capitol, and then I found out Trump is president, and I was like, "Oh, never mind, I ain't angry no more."
I'm gonna start podcast. I'm gonna pretend I'm regular.
I'm gonna pretend I'm regular,
And then we'll get these glasses and say, guess what?
and then on episode 26 or whatever the hell this one is, I'm gonna reveal who I truly am.
It's these glasses.
I'm these glasses.
You did.
now.
I just want ones that don't make it look like I'm on my way to go in a wakeboarding competition somewhere. Or, you know what I mean? I don't know. That's just like.
I do, dude. I feel like I do look like I'm about to wakeboard, and that's pretty sick.
That is the sickest thing you could
You
do
don't
in
wanna
those,
look
in
like
those
you can-
shades.
You don't want to look like you can glide across water with the simple use of a board.
I mean, that is pretty cool.
Pretty freaking tight.
I feel like some of the
hombre.
culture kind of ruined how cool that could actually be. But I mean, even just a minute ago, Jess was the editors. You're like,
Yep.
you go, do you like my new glasses? She goes, you look like you're from the South.
She goes, "They look really southern." And I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and then I went, ting, right into a tin.
Patooey, he said. with
Patooey.
his spit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I look fucking awesome. All right.
You do look pretty cool.
This is me now. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This is
That's why I wouldn't think you were like an actual like ignorant racist, because like you do look too cool to like, you know what I mean? There's no mustard anywhere. Like it's like you've jumped the shark to make it look ironically. Oh, you are dirty actually. I saw you put that brand clean shirt on. Yeah.
Damn, when did
Nice.
I get that on there? That must have been leaning up against. I was
When
leaning
we
against
carrying the
my.
boxes.
I was leaning against my girlfriend's car doing a little good old fashioned flirting.
Yeah, I've got a girlfriend and she's got a car. Ever heard of it?
Ever heard of it? She's got a car. She
We're
came
going
over
steady.
here to pick up some of my stuff and take it home for me.
What a nice
'Cause
treat.
I need her. Thank you, Marvin. Yeah, dude. I feel like what happens to me is I buy like a new item and then I'm like, this is me. And then I like wear the item for 2 weeks and I like my whole personality is like driven by the item for 2 whole weeks.
100%.
And I'm gonna be wearing these glasses inside of both of my eye sockets for 2 weeks. You like see that
They're
when
gonna
I flex?
fuse?
I flex my eyebrows. They kind of go
They
over
like-
the top.
Yeah. Yeah, you can grip it.
Do you see that? I can
Yeah.
grip. I can grip these glasses with my face.
You could probably like if you frown really hard, you could probably go underwater for a little bit, for like a couple seconds, you know?
and see.
Yeah.
They really just so there's no point where there's no light coming in. So dude, this is me now. Glasses.
There we go, regular.
Speaking of this is you now.
Yeah.
You've been a workout guy lately, sort of.
Trying to.
You've been
Yeah, we're
going to-
starting easy. I've never joined a gym before. I belong to a gym now, and I feel like a different kind of member of society than I ever have before.
How is it? What are you doing in there?
Not a lot.
Yeah.
It's very chill. Israel actually got me. Well, he was throwing the sales pitch on there because he's been a member there for a while. It's very I finally bit because there's a sauna and a steam room,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm really doing.
There are ways to go to the gym and not work out and still milk what you're paying for.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I mean, I've done a couple classes because the classes are kind of dope. Like you just like open you open the app and there's like all these classes and you just go. You
Yeah.
don't like sign up. You just like
You
they're
show
all
up.
free because they're just part of the thing.
What classes are you? What kind of classes are we talking?
I did a yoga class and I did this class because my knee's fucked up by physical therapy. But I did this. It was like a regen or something. It's like yoga for like injuries and like so it's like a lot of like stress or like tension where you're doing like lacrosse balls and stuff. And I was like, I think this is my move. I think I want to do yoga for like people who just got out of surgery or like pregnant ladies. So it's real chill and relaxing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Partial
For
meditative.
pregnant ladies, and what did you say?
And like people who just had surgery or something. People who can't
People
do
with open wounds and people who are carrying other people.
People are with child.
And then there's you, and you're over there, and you're like,
Hey
"What's
man,
up,
this
man?
one's really easy, you guys.
I love being with all you round and wounded people. This is great."
But the problem, I mean, I guess it's not a problem. Well, it's a personal problem for me that I think it's going to take some getting used to.
Yeah.
Is that there's like a bunch of rich people there. Like I already have an enemies list. There's two guys. One guy for sure. One guy, I want to learn his name.
So you can spite him?
I will say his name on this podcast.
Dude,
I want to take him down. He's probably, if he's rich enough, he could actually probably have me killed.
Dude, he could have me killed.
Yeah, I would never let that happen.
You were friends with Matty.
I'd be like, kill me twice.
That was my...
He was just such a slob pig the other day. He like left towels all around, and then he left wet towels in the shower, and it's just so easy. It's harder to do that than not.
Wet towels
like he
in the shower?
He first, so I was in the sauna, and the steam room's right here. He gets out of the steam room, leaves the door open by like that much.
And the steam. So he lets all the steam out.
It is I'm in the sauna, and it's pouring out, and like it's giving me anxiety, but I'm like doing just a 12-minute thing in the sauna. So like I don't want to
ruin your thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Because of this fucking clown.
And he's not only is it happening, but he's sitting on the bench right next to it,
dude,
while it's pouring out.
What?
And then he's like, you're not supposed to like be on your phone and he's like FaceTiming or talking to himself or recording himself. I don't know. And then I saw him before the hallway just walking out, throwing up a lacrosse ball. And I was like, how's it going? He just stared at me. And I was like, oh, I hate this guy. And then I kept hating him. And then he gets up, he leaves an empty water bottle, a napkin, 2 towels, and the lacrosse ball just right where he was sitting. And then he goes into the showers, and then I ended up going into the showers, and I look in one of the empty ones. There's 2 wet towels on the floor, and it's just like it's harder to do that than bring it with you.
Yeah, monster. Pig
so I just want to publicly shame him.
I already have 2 enemies, so don't worry about that. I got that going for me.
Yeah, and I'm just like trying to go in there, especially when all I'm doing is a lot of the days I've gone and just on the sauna and steam. I'm not gonna lie.
That's great.
I'm like I gotta get my money's worth somehow if I'm not gonna be working out.
I mean, dude, sometimes I've gone to and just gone and showered.
That's nice.
I'm like, you know what?
I did the bike the other day.
Maeve's using the shower right now. My gym's a block and a half away. They've got great eucalyptus body wash. I'm just gonna head over there real quick.
I also have never gone to a gym, so
yeah,
I'm like, oh, look at all these people are riding bikes with TVs. I'm like, do you have to reserve those or
no?
Oh, you just get on one.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah,
like last week I watched. Went through one of our pod ups looking for reels.
Yeah,
while
biking.
Like, I had that on my phone and then was listening to that, and then I had a basketball game on mute. And then
you were biking.
And then I biked, 8 miles or something.
8 miles?
Just, I bowed down a little terrain.
And are you doing a good amount of sweat when you're doing that?
Yeah. It was, I didn't realize when I got off the bike, my legs were like, whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah, nice.
Jello.
And then the sauna. Yeah, I've been reading more about saunas. You should be doing saunas. We should do it every day.
I want to get in there. I'm like a couple days left from my spider bite thing going on.
Yeah.
And then I can go sweat again.
You can't sweat the
when you have a
out?
topical skin infection, they really discourage you from sweating.
Oh, because the sweat gets trapped under the thing, and then it makes it worse.
Just in general, heat irritates in like a skin infection.
Yeah.
So
oh, God,
it fucking pisses me off. But
yeah, hey, if I was in a steam room and you got in covered in spider bites, I'd be like, get the fuck away from me. Actually,
when I go in there, I'm covered in spider bites. A couple flies come out every time I fart.
Yeah. That's my big guy. Little eggs inside you. Hot
flies come out.
Cha-cha. This guy's coming flies.
Wow, what's wrong with this guy? He just coughed a bunch of bees. I don't like him at all.
Old fly wiener over here. Oh, God. I'm going to readjust my face. What movie is that? Candyman?
Farting flies? You did not like that?
Well, because it made the connection immediately that you farted flies because they were larvae. They were laid inside of you and then hatched out of your ass.
Hey, that's sound logic, brother. There's nothing wrong with that. So you're working out. You're fucking you're doing
saunas a lot.
Saunas. I honestly, this is one that I really like. Is hit the treadmill and crank it up to like the speed of like which you're like walking as fast as you can.
Yeah.
And then do an incline and just go for as long as you can. You'll pour sweat.
Oh, nice.
And it's really good for your glutes and your lower back.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to make this ass pop.
And your calves. Yeah, dude, get a fucking popping ass.
It's a popping ass, and then the sauna. I also might be on an enemies list for other people there too, because I do the sauna nude.
Well,
are
you allowed to do that? Is that like a
Aren't you? I see dudes walking ass naked around places where I'm like, why are you so far away from clothes?
Our producer are you allowed to be nude in the?
You're supposed to wear shorts or a towel for sure.
Yeah, but towel.
You
it doesn't say towel, comma shorts. I picked the towel and then I open her up. You know what I mean? Once I sit down, it's sauna time, dude. You know, I also looked this up because I thought I read it somewhere, and yeah, the Finns love their saunas.
Yeah, towel, and then I open her up. They never see that fucking loophole
see that
coming.
one coming?
Then I open her up and I fucking show my sweaty balls off to the rest of the sweaty guys.
I read about you're supposed to sauna naked. It's like that's what the Finns say too. It's like better for the sauna experience.
Dude, I
mean,
feel
I'm
like
sitting
that's
on the towel. You know what I mean? I come in with the towel wrapped up, sit down, and now we're open up.
Dude,
I feel
like the naked thing makes no difference. I feel like that's just horny Scandinavians being like, "No, I want to see your dripping boobies when you come in the hot room."
Jigglies.
I want to see your dripping jigglies when you come into the hot room, so you can't wear any clothes. No.
Two things that happened interestingly with
you being
I
naked.
I did ask a guy to turn his headphones down. He was sitting right next to me. I get to hear them. And I'm in the sauna for 12 minutes. I want utter silence and peace.
I think it's pretty annoying that people take their cell phones in the sauna. Like you can't be away from it for max 12 minutes. Like you're not supposed to be in the sauna for 10 minutes.
I do 12.
Okay, but like yes,
hot.
So like that's a long time. Like you can't be away from your phone, and you're gonna risk like corrupting your phone.
The
with
steam
heat.
room. I had a guy with it in the steam room. And the steam room is so thick that if you were there, I could not see you.
Yeah.
And he's like right here, just on his phone. I'm like, I think he's gonna break your phone.
Yeah, dude, your phone's gonna be like.
And like, so, but I also have to. Here's what I have to do, and this is just the thing with life in general. I have to not let that incense me.
Oh, but it does.
You know what I mean?
It's
well, because it's
insane.
when it's a rich guy who's like, fuck you and fuck everybody. That's what makes me mad. And yeah, asking a guy to turn his headphones while my sweaty dick and balls are out. That was weird.
Hey, man, will you turn your headphones out or I'll put my schwanz right in your face?
I'm just fancy, dude. I did my little necklace the other day too. It was really quiet in there. And again, so far I don't think I've seen anyone else go nude in there.
Full hog.
Yeah. And I do. And I'm like, this is what you guys should all be doing this. You know what I mean? Don't be scared. This is what dick looks like, dude. And so I don't think anybody loves it.
Yeah.
And the other day it was like in there's like 4 other dudes, and it was probably like, I'm at minute like 9 or 10 and really sweaty. And I like sat up and just like kind of like moved my
your schwanz.
genital area, just like
adjusted your schwanz and the
like
boys.
Just a quick little shift. And it was like it made a wet note. It was like,
oh god!
So I don't think they love that either.
What do you mean?
I don't think they were stoked that I was naked, and then the fact they could hear
and
my
then
balls.
You squelched your balls at everybody. You fucking asshole!
No, it wasn't a squelch. It was just like I'm not going to do the ASMR sound. It's too gross.
Do not do the noise.
No,
do not do the noise.
No, go back to the episode where we were talking about naked mole rats, and just think about those guys on each other,
wet moving around on each other. Yeah, that's much better, Matty. You're so right. No, I won't do the noise. I'll just paint a way worse picture for you.
Nightmare.
And
thing.
also, now my dick and balls have teeth. So
they got teeth.
Good luck to you.
Also, why do those naked mole rats get all wet?
Yeah.
Where were they?
Remember the naked mole rats from last episode? Well, they're wet now. Oh man, dude, God. Yeah. Oh God, they're such a bummer to behold.
Like, maybe I shouldn't do it. So this necklace, that's like a piece of a meteorite.
Yeah,
it was. I was like sitting like this in the sauna, and it was like that. So like this got hotter than it would. Oh, sorry, this got hotter than it would. And then a piece of sweat dripped off that onto the tip of my wiener. And it didn't burn me, but it was warmer than I would have liked.
You're like, how?
Whoa.
I got a little meteorite water on my hog.
It's crazy, huh?
So the water went onto the meteorite.
This was in the steam room.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry.
That
wasn't sweat, it was steam
from the meteorite. From the meteorite dropped straight onto your hog.
Mm-hmm. Just like a drip. I was like, ooh, that was warmer.
Oh, a little spark right there.
All right, gotta be careful.
I'm awake. So do you and you're going to physical therapy now? Do you do PT in this gym?
No, I've only gone once so far. I went last week, and then I have tomorrow.
Where is it?
It's in Lakeview. It's like by Sheffield and Wellington.
Oh, well, come have lunch sometime.
Oh yeah, you want to do lunch?
Yeah.
Are you leaving tomorrow? Are you flying out?
Oh yeah, I'm flying tomorrow.
All right, well, not tomorrow.
Well, not
maybe when you're back.
All right. Well,
PT
because your knee.
It, and it was like popping a bunch, and he was like, "Oh yeah, your meniscus is probably toast." And I was like, "He's like, so we'll just keep doing this." He's like, "If it is that, and that's what these pops are, they're probably just gonna tear it out anyways." And I didn't look up what that meant or ask him any follow-ups. because I was trying to pretend to be cool. But like, do they just tear out your meniscus and I get this fucking thing out of here? Like I was seeking the physical therapy and counsel for this because I want to be able to do stuff, actively. I want to be able to run and jump,
Why?
Because I love doing those things. That's how I'm in this place.
I like to run, but no jumping.
Well, jump if we're trying, jumping onto if we're like, let's say sailing or something. You know what I mean? You want to be able to,
No, you shouldn't jump in sailing.
well, somebody's got to jump on there, jump off there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not jumping up and down the boat.
Yeah, I was like, keep your feet on the damn
No,
deck, you fool.
3 points of contact. Come on.
At all times.
Yeah.
One hand for yourself, one hand for the boat.
Yep.
That's what they always say. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, and so they want to take away your meniscus?
That's what the physical therapist says. No doctor has said that, but I can't imagine that's just like the answer.
Sounds like his meniscus is gone and he just wants everyone else to suffer that.
Yeah, you get this thing out of here too.
He's like, and you also don't get a meniscus anymore.
We meet up on Thursday nights, by the way.
Yeah.
No one will hang out with me.
It's like a married friend who's like, you should also get married because I'm fucking miserable.
And kids too. They're like, you have some kids.
Yeah, have kids. Join
and
me.
It's usually like right when they're like, yeah, or like they'll be like, I think you should. But I'm like, yesterday, the last 2 weeks you've been, like pulling your hair out,
and you're sick every day I've ever seen you. Yeah, my friends, one of my best friends, I'm the godfather to his youngest daughter, and I love this guy. He's like my brother to me. His kid forgot something in the house. And so he's like, oh, I'll run back in and get it. And he's like, all frazzled. They're doing all this stuff with his two kids. He turns around to go grab his shit. He's like, kind of like catches the edge of his walkway, breaks his ankle.
Oh,
just doing a little like jog back to the front door. Like, oh, you forgot your truck? Oh, let me go get that.
Boom. Whatever the whole day was is over now.
And we were in Mexico City. He's in a walking boot. He's like, God, dude. He's like, never have kids. he's like, don't have kids. You'll be fucking limping around Mexico City with your boys. Like,
it's cool because you love kids. I love kids.
I love
and
kids.
I love hanging out.
My
with them.
goddaughter is the cutest thing on the entire planet. Like, yeah.
So I'm like awesome with them, and then so I think that lends itself to people being like, you should have some. I'm like, yeah, but then I wouldn't be able to, first of all, see your kids ever again.
Yeah,
because I would just be having my own kid, and I would.
And you enjoy them differently, I'm sure, as a parent. Like,
of course, but but if I had my own, all like my nieces and like my friends' kids are like kind of my nieces and nephews. If I had my own kid tomorrow, I would never see those kids for the next 2 years. I would be up over my head with my stuff,
And I feel like there's an instinct when you become a parent, when you see other kids, you're like, oh, I'm gonna kind of, I have now license to parent this other kid.
Oh, because you are one yourself.
Yeah, like you have, and like me, I'll never do that.
Yeah,
ever unless I'm a parent. And I do feel like that might be legitimate. Like,
I think
I'm not a parent, so if I see a kid misbehaving, I go, this is way out of my scope.
Right.
I have no idea what I'm going to fucking do about that. I'm not going to correct that.
That would be funny if you just like went to the park just to correct kids.
You going to the park? Yeah, I'm going to go fucking educate the children on how to be a little more polite and chill to everybody, man.
Someone's got to.
They're fucking rude.
Is this too mean? I was working on this as just like a bit concept the other day. Where because we're always like, we just got to give it up for the teachers. Like, man, they just do such, like, they're just out there on the front line. I'm like, do we though? I think all these kids are dumb as shit.
Well, yeah, they are dumb as shit, but it's not the teacher's fault.
Not even a little bit?
Honestly, it's cell phones and social media.
Oh, I mean, it's definitely that. That is the science part.
It's their access to each other. It used to be like wives' tale and someone's big brother once said this and then that, and it was like
Marilyn Manson sucked his own dick.
Yeah,
and
like
ribs taken out.
Ribs taken out. That. Yeah, do you know how to draw this little S? Now it's like there's like challenges and like everyone has access to each other. Like you could know, like there's probably people who are going to high school in Denver who know some kids in Boulder just from social media.
Right.
And to me, that's insane. Like the kids in Denver, I was like, that's a whole different world.
Oh,
I couldn't
right.
imagine even crossing paths with you guys or the ones up in the mountains. I was like, you guys are way different than us. But now they're all able to be like, being a senior in Colorado is like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
and they all
everyone
make the same trend. And then they're like, oh, do you see that guy Drew? He did that thing. That was so cool. It was like, oh, not as cool as Chad. Chad's way tighter. Denver, all the way. You know what I mean? Like
micro celebrities of Instagram,
they have
high school kids.
Access to each other that makes them way different. And then they like influence each other on the internet, I feel like, in that way. And that like, yeah, I don't know what this rant was starting off as.
Think about not having kids. Like I have so much like fear and anxiety about like my niece is like getting bullied at school. It hasn't even happened, but like,
Oh,
I'm like, I like when we were like getting labubu, when you know what I mean. Like I was like I was so worried about getting a real one. I'm like, if these little kids make fun of her for having a fake one or for anything, I'm like,
I might come to the school and kill all the kids there.
Truly. And I just, so if that was my own kid, I don't know how, I don't want to see how much more heightened my emotions can get and how much like, you know, how either like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like not, like good enough at any point, you know what I mean? Or like if, or just my fear of someone being hurt. I don't want to see if that can be more than it already is. Cause this is enough.
It's already worse with children.
Lot.
And you know, you've gone through it. So you like, I see like my niece or who's like becoming a person now. She's like 3-ish. And like, I'm imagining her in school and I'm like, everyone better be nice to her.
Dog,
like,
right?
If people are mean to her or if like there's someone that's like, if she has a bully, like I'm going to bully her parents.
Yeah.
Or like that girl's parents or that boy or whoever's bullying her. Like I'm going to go, it's not going to be fair. If you're going to let that kid bully another kid, then like gloves are off.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like,
and like it's
unbelievable how protective I'm like, she better be cool.
Mm-hmm.
And she also better not be bullying people.
No.
I feel that way too. If I heard that like a kid that I liked or like somehow helped like with their
their rearing.
I was a role model.
Yeah, you were an adult figure.
And I heard they were a bully. I'd be like, the fuck? What do you mean?
No.
What? Like,
well, because it's cheap and shitty, and like it's always, you know, you want to like instill in the kids always to like help the kid who needs help, you know, or like, you know, if someone's alone, go sit by or invite them over, you know, that kind of stuff, and which is really hard in the grand scheme, like in the jungle of the playground. You know, whatever the laws of the but you know,
well, that immediate like almost the Lord of the Flies that you're dropped into when the teachers and the parents all turn their back. It's like interactions between the kids.
I mean, we were nasty. Like,
I remember there was like an area we had like this big, huge tree in our back, like behind our school, and then there was a yard where everyone played, and then there were like little nubs that would fall off the tree, and it was like for some reason the cool kids were like, these are ours. Do not grab the fucking nubs from the tree.
Mountain currency.
Yeah, they were like, the nubs are the cool kids. And you're not quite a cool kid yet, Chris, so do not grab nubs.
Are we talking like 6, 7, 8?
Like first, second.
Yeah,
you know? And then like that little area behind the tree, that's where all like the cool the kid, like the boys and the girls who talked to each other.
Yeah.
Those were like the cool
ultimate
kids.
Cool ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like everybody else was kind of like, I was over there being like, yeah, well, like swords are still really cool.
Really cool. Like, if you find a nub, you have to get to those guys. By the way,
yeah. If you find nubs, those guys will kill you.
You must give it to them.
There was almost like a feudalism on the playground where like there was like a king and a queen, and you were like dukes, and like you immediately like went into like a court.
Almost, for sure,
like a royal court. Like,
and it's funny how things like that too, like the nubs can be like weirdly commodified into something. So then, like, if you're with your parents at brunch somewhere. Like and like outside the restaurant was one of those trees. Like the nubs, you know what I mean? Because it's just like,
and you'd look around and you'd be like, none of the cool kids are here.
That's why when I was
I can take some of these nubs home.
And they're like, what's wrong with the nubs? Like, these are special. These are
maybe I take some of the nubs to school. I pretend that I got the nubs on the property, and then everyone will think I am cool.
Brave enough to take them from the older kids.
And then Tristy, I don't know, I'm making up a girl's name.
Tristy will love me.
And then Tristy will love me.
I will steal Tristy from her boyfriend Lance, and we will be wed.
Tristy will ignore Lance for the rest of her days.
I will tell them I brought them from the big tree behind the school, not from the side of the Benihana in the parking lot.
And I will be the new king of the playground. What was your playground setup like growing up?
Sparse. In a word? Definitely no tree of wisdom with fancy nubs. It was an asphalt square. That was it. Again, the Boulder upbringing.
I'm dying. I'm over here squealing. My nose is shut off. I think you laughed so hard I got a cold. The way in which your face changed. Sparse.
How can I?
Bam.
That's that.
That's it right there. You're just a parking lot.
Yep.
Look up Flatirons Elementary School in Boulder, Colorado.
There's no school buses. Just a Griffin picks up every kid on the way.
No, we had a school bus driver named Stan, and he looked like he was the lead singer of ZZ Top.
I was just so it's Otto from The Simpsons.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. There was an outdoor classroom.
Yeah, I'll bet. They're like, we used to have 4 sloths, but then 2 of them got sick. So then
yeah.
when I got there, we only had 2, which kind of sucked.
We only had 2 sloths. It was Flatirons Elementary. I mean, I was so lucky. It was a idyllic little place. My dad, it was up the hill. My dad would walk me to. He would walk his bike. He would walk me to school with his bike uphill, and then he would get on his bike and ride downhill all the way to where his office was. And he's like, I didn't pedal once. I would literally get on and be like, wee.
He's like, well, I did ring my bell once when I passed the milkman. But other than that.
Yeah, there's our playground. Expansive.
Oh, nice.
We had a lot of stuff back there. There's a lot of things to. A lot of war was played back there. I was pretending World War II was happening on almost every one of those structures. I also was a weird kid when I kindergarten or 4th grade. I moved there from Nepal, so I was dropped into just this like storm of whites.
Storm of whites and probably more like structured rigidity than you were used to
from
before
like
that.
chaos. Like my dad used to drive me to school in Nepal on the back of his motorcycle, and I would hold on, and then there would be these police checkpoints, and the police didn't have any kind of weapons; they just had whistles.
Nice.
And my dad would just accelerate and go through the fucking checkpoint.
Yeah.
So every time I hear a police whistle, I like have this memory of like my dad being like, tweet, like that. And there's your playground.
Yeah. So ours was different. You said you guys had the outdoor education system. So in this one, on really hot days, the cracks that they would fill with tar, you could kind of pull it up and it would be like a little putty, and you could stretch it and make it a little ball, and you could bring it into school and you could smell it and smell like tar all day. It's kind of fun. That's what we did.
I like these screenshot comparisons of our two.
It is pretty good.
What was your playground like? Sparse. And we both played rugby.
Yeah, I did. Well, I didn't really. I couldn't. It's hard for me to claim that I did. I did sophomore and junior year, but both for about. I think the sophomore year was maybe like 2 months, and then junior year was like a month.
Because you got hurt or you quit.
Yeah, both. Well, because I quit. Yeah, both times I quit. I mean, I got hurt. But it's not why I quit.
Yeah.
You know, just the hurts you get rugby, fingers, nose, whatever.
Right.
But like, I just wanted to play in the band more, and like also just
and
not
chill and
smoke weed and play in the band and not.
It was a school sport.
So we got the rugby team while I was there. So like, and my dad's friend was like this retired judge that was like, I think slowly and then more rapidly losing his mind, like dementia wise.
Right.
But they like let him be like the kind of rugby coach until he was like all the way insane. They're like, I don't think you can be around boys anymore. But
we're playing on concrete today, boys.
Come on. He would go. He always go, when you coming out for rugby, you bum?
Hey, so funny. Hey, Mr. Johnson.
But yeah, both times I was just like, I don't need this.
Right.
And I was doing I was in a band with like guys that were in college, like, you know, older than me and not in high school anymore.
You're already super sick. Your arm was already around chicks, and you're like, "What's Batman?"
You guys are doing.
Oh, you guys doing Batman?
Team
That's
sports.
cool. Matty, come back to bed, dude. I'll never forget that.
He got me so hard. My face was so red. I was so embarrassed. I was like, "That's not who I am."
You were just smiling straight ahead, like, "Okay, I'm being absolutely destroyed by Adam right now."
He had a video that I've been thinking about every day for like a month. The video about him cutting in line.
You don't think we've seen a goblet before?
Get back in line.
Speaking of rugby, I'm just to plug one thing real quick.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry I wasn't able to go to that, by the way.
I'm doing stuff with Major League Rugby now, which I'm pretty fucking stoked about. The championship game is on the 21st of June. We're hoping that the Chicago Hounds are playing in that. I'll be there. I'll be doing a bunch of shit in the at the tailgate. So if you want to come to the Hounds game, come to the Hounds game. It was a fucking really good time. You don't even have to know anything about rugby. People there are so nice. They will teach you and explain to you rugby while you're watching the game. Really, if you've ever wondered what is going on while you're watching rugby, if your team is moving forward, that's a good thing. If they're moving backwards, that's a bad thing. That's all you really need to know.
I mean, if you've seen any other sports, Just
in general, that's
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Like it's
you
not
can
like
tell
so
when your
crazy.
team is losing, and then you'll just don't be embarrassed to ask questions. It's a great sport. It's one of the fastest growing sports in America.
I was just gonna ask. Is
now
it
is
like
the time to
for-
get in. Now it's going to be big. I promise.
As far as America goes, isn't it like that? I heard lacrosse was that for a while.
No. Well, yeah, but lacrosse is just like unwatchable. It's like the ball is moving way too quickly.
And this
Like-
might be I don't know. I don't want to talk shit because it seems like a cool sport. And I think it's got like native ties.
It does.
But for whatever reason, and maybe they did this themselves, I feel like the brand of lacrosse is pretty like date rapey Chad
Duke,
guys.
it was that the Duke lacrosse team.
Yeah, but like
Remember, they
but I
like
think
got-
but when it was lacrosse team, I think no one was like surprised.
Well, no
because
one
it
was surprised, but that certainly didn't like that. I think that was the nail in the coffin as far as the reputation of lacrosse players
You
went.
might be right.
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like it was on a fucking meteoric rise,
It
like,
was like
nation,
gonna be this.
nationally.
Yeah, it was like super popular, and then Duke lacrosse, horrible, horrific, terrible thing that they did. It was already kind of the reputation of lacrosse players that it was like this like kind of rich, broy country
Right,
club,
right.
like not football because football's like a little bit like
Guys
it's like
who say my father.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's like white kids who say my father and they're like I also can touch the rim of a basketball hoop, but I would never play that game.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah,
there's a
yeah,
bit
yeah.
of like a country club aspect to
Yeah.
it. And then all those fuckers date rape somebody in Duke and like Bob's your uncle there. I mean, fuck that, dude.
Fucking idiots. Well, also, if we're talking about sports that are more accessible, like there's a reason soccer is so popular globally. You need
Rugby's
you need
the
people
same.
and a ball. You know what I mean?
Rugby's
like with
the same.
right.
You just need a ball.
With lacrosse, you need helmets, pads, a stick. I think those sticks are crazy expensive.
It's just
too.
as expensive as hockey in some points.
Really?
I mean, in some points, I guess you don't need like the skates and the like to pay for ice time.
Yeah, ice time is the nut kicker. I think.
Yeah,
in that,
but
in that
but
case.
I do think lacrosse is like all the helmet, the shoulder pads, the gloves, the stick, the fucking
And then when you're growing, you need a new every year and a half.
yeah. I don't know. It's a cool game. No denying that lacrosse could be cool, but it is like the culture surrounding it is like it feels like a yacht club. Like
Here's what I want to do because it looks fun, but again, I
man.
don't want to like be out in public looking like I'm one of those guys. But like, I would love to like go play a lacrosse catch.
yeah.
I think I've done that once.
I didn't like the way you said that.
I never said that before. It did sound like I was like,
I've never heard
I would
someone
like to go
sound
have a-
so unathletic
I was
in
like,
my life.
would you like to go have a baseball time
Would
with
you
me,
guys?
Chris?
I want to go play a lacrosse catch.
How
What
would
do
you like to have a
say?
lacrosse catch with me, Chris?
Would you toss a football back and forth with each other's hands?
What
do you
about
say?
the pigskin? Hurl it through the air towards one another.
twirly style? Good twirl.
We'll do sharing through the air.
Instead of saying good spiral. Ooh, good twirl of the ball.
Christopher, what a twirly cue that was.
Tight little twirl you're putting on the
Ooh,
ball.
my goodness. Little razzmatazz on that one, Christopher.
Man, but rugby's a great game, dude. Honestly,
Yeah, no,
it's
it's fun.
It also has a rep, I think, of being a little bit posh as well in
I think-
England and Ireland.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but
I thought it was like the more fun guy. Like if football was like serious, more into, at least for the rugby I experienced in America growing up, it was like,
well, yeah, in
they were the
America
dudes who were
it's
more
different.
fun,
Yeah,
and maybe less like, I don't know, like more willing to like, yeah, I'll smoke weed too.
yeah,
We're like football, I don't do it, you know.
yeah. I mean, football and lacrosse are like a little bit more popular, and so it's just like rich and poor play football and play football at least. But I think rugby is accessible and doing a good job of like making it accessible and like cheap and like it's just a different image here in America. It's not quite like the posh. I think in rugby it's like this is it's a rich kid sport in like England and Ireland and South Africa and
Yeah.
places like that. But yeah, not in America. And really like and then soccer is a more of a poor person's game, but here in America, I would say it might be the opposite as well, where it seems like some of the kids that are doing the best come from really rich families. Like,
Well, because they have access to the best traveling teams where like,
Yeah.
you're not just playing with the high school, you're
going to Europe.
You have no off days basically, you know?
Yeah. And I don't know. So I don't know. Like there was a saying. It was like rugby is a hooligans game played by gentlemen, and soccer
Okay.
is a gentleman's game played by hooligans.
Ah,
Yeah,
interesting.
that's the little slogan that rugby players at least love to say.
Wow.
I don't think
because
soccer
they're the
players-
gentlemen.
Yeah, we're the gentlemen, and of course.
Well, I mean, if it's also like the soccer players could be mad, but what are they going to do? Fight the rugby players
yeah,
with their hands and feet,
yeah,
or at least their feet?
just
I mean,
feet.
yeah, feet only.
Yeah, I mean, have you ever seen there was like a great video back in the day. It was like the 2003 rugby World Cup final versus the 2005 soccer World Cup final. and it was just like Italians and French people just rolling around, holding their faces, being like, I'm dying. And there was these Australians and British people just like taking each other and dropping each other on each other's heads, like getting up and just punching each other. And you're like, okay, like maybe we're not dying soccer players.
Sometimes
Like
the French and or some of the European, like Italian players, when they do fake one, it really almost looks like they're like an exaggerated, like a commedia dell'arte, like like a fainting, like
where they roll around, they like grab their face and they like they've been kicked down a hill,
or like they just got covered in spider bites.
Like they're on fire. What's the roll? What's with the roll?
I've hurt myself so bad, needed stitches, broken things.
Never rolled around like that.
Never.
It would open up the wound more.
Yeah,
it would injure your ligaments. Yeah. I don't get that at all. And you see that in a little bit in basketball too, where these guys dive and they like writhe around on the ground.
Oh, for sure.
Have you actually writhed before? Don't think I've ever writhed.
I've writhed.
You've writhed?
Oh, I've writhed.
I've writhed.
I think honestly, I'm trying to think of like true writhing, and it's only okay. This is a little gross. I think the only time I've writhed has been like a gastro issue.
Yeah, you're right. You're kind of like trying to like move and like
adjust. I'm talking
your.
When you like really feel like you're gonna like it.
Yeah, you're trying to like get out of your own skin.
Truly, and you're like, why won't this get out of like the pain? Something help.
Right.
Someone help me.
Yeah. So
that's the only right. Help me, please. Help me. Someone help. Somebody, please. Please help.
Help me, actually. Someone help. I have genuinely been so sick or so hungover. I've been like sitting on my couch or on the bathroom floor just going, help. Someone fucking help me.
That's good. Please.
Please. I've said please before. You're like, please, make it stop. I've literally begged for death. I've been like, just kill me. How dramatic is that? I have like a flu.
Yeah.
Or had too many whiskeys and I'm on the floor and I'm just going, just kill me.
Yeah, like this will be better tomorrow. We're like, I'd rather never live.
That's how I know if someone was like, you've been diagnosed with a terminal disease and if you want to live, you're going to have to fight for 7 months. I'd be like, very cool. I'm going to go max out all my credit cards and then kill myself actually.
Before anything starts like crumbling off me or anyone has to like clean my ass crack.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
I'm going to go do some insane stuff and then probably absolutely bazooka myself to the head.
Tim Smith has one of the funniest jokes.
Oh,
I mean, he's got all of his jokes are the funniest jokes.
He's so funny.
But
he opened for me in Atlantic City. Shout out Tim.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
He's the best. But his joke is like, I'm not suicidal, but I certainly wouldn't fight for my life.
Yeah.
He's like, when people get cancer, like, man, he fought like hell. If that was me, like, man, he gave up immediately.
Yeah, that guy, he didn't even last for a second. He's so fucking funny. The Atlantic City show was super fun. It was in the Celebrity Theater, which is where like Frank Sinatra and Whitney Houston had performed there.
Together?
No, just we're sitting.
Like those were, if we're talking,
two of the biggest celebrities that have performed there, not together. No, but so we went in there, and it was. Listen, I don't want to bash the people that put it on, but it's not their fault. Just the way any weed show goes, you know how.
It was a weed show.
It was a weed show.
So
it was good. It was the best weed show I've ever done in the sense that it was like full, where everyone was in there smoking. We're in this old historic theater in the Claridge Hotel. And everyone's smoking weed. And
that's really cool.
Which is great. Super cool. But by the time Tim got up there, pretty much everyone had been smoking weed all day. And Tim's opening for me. So he's the first person.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time Tim got up there is way before when I got up there. And people were ripped. Like I felt like Tim had a good time. We had a good time together. Everyone made money. But Tim was like very much like, just like that was interesting.
Yeah, he's not a prude, but he's not like as weed. You know what I mean? We've been around a lot more weed things like that.
Yeah.
And also, what is it about the weed crowds? Because sometimes it's like you guys aren't drunk and you should be more chill, but like
they don't really laugh.
They don't really. I mean, that part is like a stonery thing, I think, where everyone's just like kind of like melted. But like, there is some. I feel like there is like a segment of the population that it attracts that are just kind of extra like, I I'm just always talking.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Oh my.
I flew Southwest.
Holy shit! So you were there.
So I've done weed shows, and it's just like and they're being nice and they're not heckling, so it's hard to get them to shut the fuck up.
That's so true. Oh my God. One time I was with my sister Mary and we were doing this and you're like, oh my fucking God.
And there's something about like, and this is why it's hard, and I don't want to like ostracize anybody, but like even as like a person who is big time in the weed world, smoking it every day for most of my
and both
life.
You and I are quite the gabbers. We can talk.
For sure.
Yeah.
But like the ones who really like double, triple down on weed as identity is like that's when I'm like it's usually the people that are like talking that much in this shit. You know what I mean? Like when it's like the ones who are like going to a bunch of events. They're like, I go to all these weed events. Like
there was one lady again, she was like in the front row, she was heckling, but I met her afterwards. She couldn't have been nicer. She was like so sweet.
She's like, oh, I'm in the show too with you right now.
She just didn't, it just wasn't like, it was a private show. There was no comedy club announcement that was like, hey, here's how to be an audience.
That's a totally different story,
you know,
too.
so she just like, she participated in a way that she thought, and really it wasn't that big of a problem. Like both Tim and I are good enough comedians.
Of course.
To like have her participate, do our own material, do crowd work with her. Honestly, it ended up being like, you know what? You've opened it up. Everyone, we're all talking.
Yeah.
Like there's 300, there's like 200 people in this, it was, you know, it wasn't, and also here's the other thing. Stoner show, the first 3 rows were empty. And then every row behind that was pretty much full.
Oh yeah, because you're stoned and paranoid, you don't want to get talked
close.
to. Yeah.
And then the one person in the front 3 rows, there's 3 people, and in the middle, that girl doing all the talking.
Yeah.
So it was like, she was like the leader. I was like, are you guys speaking through her?
At least it was to you though, because a lot of times, especially when it's a weed show and it's more than like not just the one we did at the did you do that one at the dispensary? Did we do that together?
I ran a show at a dispensary for a while.
Well, no, this was like a couple months ago where like I ended up doing like a dab rig on stage.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you and I were
so
doing
that one's like a small one, but like when you extrapolate that crowd, then you get people that like are talking to each other loudly.
Yeah.
And so at least she's talking to you. That's kind of a bonus.
Yeah, that's very true. I don't want to break your brain very badly.
Let's do it though.
You know that stoner show that we did a couple months ago?
Which one?
The one you were just talking about? The one where you took a dab on stage?
Oh yeah, but that was like a year and a half ago or something.
Okay, all right. I was about to be like, it's coming up on a year ago.
Yeah,
I thought
it was
you
a
were
long
going
time
like,
ago.
it was a couple months ago. I was like, oh no.
No, yeah, well it was like the
I
only
was like, we've broken our brains.
that was
Coming up on a year ago.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it was over
more
a
than a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was 420 times. I fucking love the stoner show. I love the stoner community. I love that you're there. The pure stoner shows. So this was one of the best ones. The best one I've ever done. The best stoner show I've ever done. And I actually would recommend it to you. I'd recommend it to any comedian. It's this place. It's this little like grow up in Fairbanks, Alaska, and they have this consumption lounge on site. It's called Pakalolo Supply. Oh, God damn it. Pakalolo something supply. High supply, I want to say, like weed supply. Fuck, I'm sorry,
You're
boys.
doing great.
They're the man. They're two great guys that run this place. They're brothers, which I love a brothers.
I love a brothers.
Couldn't have been nicer guys. We took me up there for a bunch of shows in Fairbanks. Last 420, it was great. My dad came up there. My godfather came up there. This last year, Jeffrey.
Dave, Randy.
I have Dave's not my godfather.
Andy.
I have 2 godfathers.
Yeah, sorry.
Andy and then this other guy who was up there as well. He lives in Alaska.
Sick.
Yeah, his name's Brian. He's the man.
We got to go visit Brian's ass, dude.
Yeah, he lives in Anchorage, and he and his wife take tiny planes to villages in eastern Alaska, like the small village. Like,
do like medical help with them or
they
something?
do. Yeah, they do dentistry and medical help. He's a dentist, and she's a physician's assistant.
Okay.
So a doctor.
Yeah, I like them better, the doctors.
but not the debt, basically.
Yeah.
And so she can. They both give care to the native villages.
That's awesome.
In eastern Alaska.
My friend's dad does that with
Alaska.
the Blackfoot Indians in Montana.
Sick.
Yeah.
It's so sick. So Pakalolo, you guys are the shit. That's the best weed show I've ever done. The one in Atlantic City was fucking great. Don't get me wrong. It was just like everyone was so high. And then here's 300 people were in that room smoking. I'm a little bit above them. I got so high.
Contact high?
By the end of it, I was like, I was just breathing in smoke the entire freaking show. I'm just breathing in all of their exhales. And so like I'm like slow, they're slow. I'm trying my freaking best, but yeah, it was a marathon a little bit.
Now imagine that's cigarette smoke and you're on an airplane.
Yeah.
Or a restaurant or everywhere in the world
Everywhere
up until like not that long ago.
Yeah, so fucking
My
true.
mom's friend was a flight attendant and she had breast cancer when we were young, and they were like doing, some kind of scan, and they were like, we would have really appreciated if you told us you were a smoker when we were doing this stuff. And she's like, I'm not. And like, you have the lungs of someone who smokes like 2 packs a day. Because she was a flight attendant for 20 years on planes where you could smoke.
That's crazy. I was talking the last episode about my friend Alex Waddell, who was the nurse. I was so lucky that I was with her when I got bit by the spider, and that she was like, oh, that's not good. Let's call in a script. And then I was able to call my other friend. I went to high school with both of these ladies. Now they're both great medical professionals, a registered nurse and an emergency room doctor. And she calls me, she gets me a script, fucking writes it immediately. But just like, what a blessing to like have friends instead of me having to be like, let me go to a walk-in clinic and then let me go do this, and let me go do that. Like, so
when
much
I was
better.
at my Smitty's wedding in Thailand in like 2017, one of the nights we were down in Koh Phi Phi. I was hammered getting on this long-tail boat at like 5 a.m, and it was like this ladder made of like rusty rebar, and it was all wet, and I slipped, and this rebar just took, just a gnarly chunk. And I had a ridiculous first aid kit with me that I like piecemeal packed myself because I know what I'm doing. And I ended up having to call my friend Jenny in the middle of the night because she's a nurse. And I was like, hey, I think I'm doing everything right, but before I close this thing up, can you come get eyes on this? She's like, yeah, I'll be right there. And so she helped like fix it with like all these steri strips and like butterfly sutures. And
she was on the trip with you? Oh,
yeah.
Lucky. Yeah.
There was like 20 of us at this island after the wedding. And then her sister was there, and she had a prescription for ciprofloxacin, which is kind of like a catch-all antibiotic.
Yeah.
So then, she like helped stitch my leg, and then the other sister had I'm like, I fucking love you guys, man. Thank you guys so much,
Thanks
man.
for being around my accident-prone ass, everybody, man.
Then I couldn't go in the ocean. We were like on a snorkeling beach.
Oh.
And I was like, I had to keep it dry. And then like not even 10 days later, I was hammered in Vietnam, and it was like up to my waist in flood water. I ended up being okay though.
I guess
I think.
so. Yeah, maybe
I
it
might
went to
still
your
have parasite.
brain.
That's why I can't gain weight.
All right, my cryptid of the week. Are you ready?
Go
bitch?
for it. I'm ready.
It's the Ahool.
Ahool.
It's from Indonesia.
Okay.
And like the island, more specifically Java, and the island of
This
Java.
is real. This is like a fruit bat. Those motherfuckers are giant.
Yeah. So, but this is like this one has like it's a giant bat / more like a monkey.
Okay.
Like, click that one in the upper left there. Like, zoom in there a little bit. It's like a giant bat monkey.
Oh, so it's like if a bat had a lot more stronger, dexterous limbs.
Yeah, but then there's some other ones that make it look like it's kind of like a chimpanzee and a monkey had a fucking baby.
Yeah, you do not want that in your yard. I'll tell you that right now.
Not at all. It's like genuinely, it's the flying monkeys from the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. How did that not? I wonder why that didn't work out.
It boasts a 10 to 20 foot 8 wingspan. So real fucking
10
big.
to 28 feet.
Yeah.
It's a pretty wide gap, but it's not a real thing. So
gray-furred, primate-faced winged predator. It is considered a cryptid, of course, unproven by science. Often sighted near waterfalls by locals and explorers. It's monkey-like, ape-like, with a large head, dark eyes, gray fur, enormous leathery wings, and sharp claws on its forearms.
Wow.
It's basically Batman, but a monkey. And then, you know why they're called Ahools?
Because when you go, Ahool!
Exactly.
You run. Really?
No, it's their cry.
Oh, that's what they say?
When they like go over and they go over, people hear like a Ahool or something like that. Or maybe it's like Ahool.
Ahool.
What do you think it is?
What if they're just like, hey, Ahool over there?
Hey, Ahool.
Hey, it's me. Ahool, you guys. Yeah. All right, shut up.
So yeah, giant bat monkey. That's my cryptid of the month, the Ahool. In Java and down in Indonesia. I think that's like, dude, imagine that's like basically like Bigfoot that flies. Like, we were like, yeah, there's a monkey walking around our forest. It's fucking crazy. And down in Indonesia, they're like, there's a monkey flying around our fucking forest, and it's saying Ahool.
I mean, down there, like, I would believe it. They got Indonesia, they got stuff that no one else has.
Yeah, they do.
Orangutans. We talk about that.
Those are your best
I
guys.
want to talk about I won't stop talking about them.
Yeah. Hey, well, thank you for watching the Buddy System podcast or listening to it. I've been Chris.
I've been Matty.
Please be sure to follow and subscribe on all streaming platforms. You can watch the podcast on Spotify and YouTube. You can listen to it on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, and iHeartRadio.
Watch it. It's fun. When I listen to it and I try to get clips, I'm like, oh, actually, I like watching it.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yep.
And yeah, all of our links can be found on our Instagram page, Buddy System Pod, where you can also join our Patreon and get early access to episodes, bonus content, direct access through our Discord channel, and special shout out and thanks to the new Patreon members. We've got a couple.
Yeah.
I saw my cousin Kyle just trying to meant to text you, but
thanks, Kyle.
we got weird shit going on in our family, so I'll text you about a different time. You know what I mean?
You're
Thanks
a
for
good
joining.
guy, Kyle.
Hey, I love you
New
guys,
episodes
man.
every Tuesday. Thanks, buddies.
Hey, thanks, guys.